State Executive. The state executive consists of the governor, the chief minister, and the council of ministers. We have the same pattern of the government in the state as we have at the central level. The head of the state is governor, who acts on the advice of the council of ministers. Governor. He is appointed by the President of India for a term of 5 years, but he can be removed by the President on the advice of the Prime Minister. Qualifications. 1. He should be a citizen of India and at least 35 years of age. 2. If he is a member of the Parliament or the state legislature, he has to resign after assuming the office of governor. 3. He cannot hold the office of prophet under the government. He shouldn't be mentally unsound or insolvent. Powers and functions. The powers and functions of the governor are similar to those of the president. He is answerable to the president and on many occasions executes the orders of the president. Executive powers. He is the constitutional head of the state. All administration is carried out in his name. It is for this reason that important appointments are made by him. He appoints the leader of majority party in the state legislature as the chief minister of the state. On the advice of chief minister, he appoints the council of ministers and all the top-level state officials. Legislative powers. He summons and prorogues the sessions of state legislature and addresses the first session of state legislature. No bill can become a law without the assent of the governor. He also has the power to reserve the bill for the consideration of the president. If the state legislature is not in session, the governor can issue orders called ordinances. These ordinances remain in force till 6 weeks of the next session of the state legislature, unless disallowed by the state legislature. Budget is presented in the Legislative Assembly by his name. Judicial powers. The governor can grant pardon, suspend, or commute punishment on appeals of mercy by the convicts. Discretionary powers. In some situations, the governor does not act on the advice of the council of ministers. In such situations, he exercises his discretionary powers. When it is not possible to carry out government in the state, according to the provisions of the Constitution, the governor can send a report to the president. This report recommends president's rule in the state. He also uses his discretion in the appointment of chief minister. If there is a hung legislative assembly, the governor can also reserve the bill for the consideration of the president. The chief minister. After the elections, the governor invites the leader of the party having a majority in the assembly to form the government. The governor appoints the council of ministers on the advice of the chief minister and administers them the oath of office and secrecy. The chief minister presides over the meeting of the council of ministers. He acts as a link between the governor and council of ministers. He has the power to appoint, dismiss, or reshuffle members from the council of ministers. He also coordinates the work of different ministries. The council of ministers comprises 3 categories of ministers: cabinet ministers, ministers of state, and deputy ministers. The cabinet ministers hold independent charge of various departments. They are assisted by the ministers of state and deputy ministers. Ministers of state can hold independent charge, or they assist cabinet ministers. Deputy ministers are lowest in rank. They help the cabinet ministers or ministers of state in their work. Each minister is in charge of a particular department. This department relates to a subject which falls within the state list. The ministers work on the principle of collective responsibility, which means that if anything goes wrong, the entire council of ministers has to resign, which in effect means that government has to. State administration. The executive at the state level comprises permanent and political executive. Political executive includes the head of the state and the ministers who are head of different departments. Policy according to which the administration of the state is run is determined by the political executive. But in actual practice, the daily administration is run by a large number of government officials who hold their office on permanent basis till they retire. They are appointed on merit and do not vacate office with a change in political executive. These civil servants are the backbone of administration. The bureaucrats of government offices run and manage different affairs of the different departments under the overall charge of the minister concerned. The bureaucratic head of each department is called secretary, who generally belongs to the IAS cadre. His selection and appointment is made by the Union Public Service Commission. He also acts as an advisor to the minister on all important matters. The chief secretary is the head of the secretaries, who supervise departments. The office of the secretaries is known as secretariat. The ministers' offices are also located in the secretariat. There is a hierarchical system from minister to the secretary and to another official concerned. This system is called bureaucracy, and the bureaucrats are called public servants as they serve the people. Trivia: Vidhan Sabha of Uttar Pradesh is a stately building in Lucknow. Sir Harcourt Butler laid its foundation in 1922. Trivia: The building housing Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council of Karnataka is called Vidhan Saudha. This building in Bengaluru is one of the most elegant government buildings. It is a mixture of modern and neo-Dravidian style of architecture.